And being in Indiana Jones, it's almost like I do feel like I'm in a dream sometimes. Like this didn't actually happen to me. It's a surreal feeling. I teach English as a foreign language, so I get students of all ages, and they do know about the role now. At first, I couldn't tell anybody. So during filming, I was so excited, and I was bursting to tell, and I couldn't. So I only told my very close, family members. My agent knew, but nobody else, and I couldn't tell the students. But of course, after I was allowed to tell the news, all the students were absolutely over the moon. I mean, their reactions ranged from like, "Oh my God, I don't believe it," first of all, right, to wanting to take pictures with me. Some of them, because they're from different countries and they're coming over to England to learn English, some of them were actually making long distance calls to their family abroad, like video calls, and saying, "Do you know who my teacher is?" So, I mean, just seeing the smiles on their faces and seeing how happy the news made them is really sort of uplifting. Harrison Ford, just the experience of working with him, the experience of just seeing him in the morning and him being so friendly, being so warm. He would come in, he would say, "Oh, good morning, Mohammed." And he's a big fan of oranges, right? Which I didn't know until I got to set and saw him. And every morning he'd come in with this orange and he'd start peeling it. This is before we're about to start filming. And he'd see me, in the spot where I was standing, and we have a moment sort of together in the movie where we have to sort of stare each other down with intense eye contact. And usually we'd film that part because the director, James Mangold, he's a very meticulous man. Very, very amazing director. I'll tell you some stories about him as well. And he would like to do the same sort of bit from different angles, make sure he's got all the angles covered, make sure he's done it several times. So because we've got to do that bit a lot, every morning before we do that bit, Harrison would come with his orange and he'd peel the orange and then take a bit out and say, "Mohammed, do you want some?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm alright, thanks." I was quite nervous about eating on set because I didn't want to sort of upset my stomach or upset the apple cart or need to pop off to the loo or anything like that. So I was like, I won't eat anything, I won't drink anything, I'll just focus on doing my acting job. And even though Harrison knew that every morning I said no to the orange, he would still offer. Every morning he would still say, "Do you want some? Do you want some orange?" So just a very, very kind guy. Her and I sort of developed this routine for G'ing each other up, and it was finishing each other's sort of like classic Shakespeare lines off. So, so James Mangold would say something like, "Okay, are the actors ready?" And we'd sort of we'd stand like this opposite each other, ready to fight each other. And then just before he says action, I would say, for example, I would say, "Once more unto the breach." And Phoebe would reply, "My dear friends." And then James Mangold would shout action and we'd do the stuff. And then he'd say cut. And then he'd go, "Right, get ready to go again." So James Mangold's over there, we're over here. We're getting ready to go again. And then this time I would say something like, for example, "To be or not to be." And then Phoebe would say, "That is the question." And then he would say action. And then off we go again. And then he'd say cut. So it was just lovely. And being in Indiana Jones, it's almost like I do feel like I'm in a dream sometimes. Like this didn't actually happen to me. It's a surreal feeling, and I have, again, it's a duality because I'm so happy that I had the best sort of 6 weeks of my life. But you do feel it now that I'm not there anymore, and it was over a year ago that this filming took place, by the way. You do feel a come down because you're like, it's like a drug. It's like, I want more of this, I want to be on set with Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge again, I want to be in another James Mangold movie. because he's such an amazing director, very, very inspirational. And so you've got that kind of dualistic and conflicted feelings where you're like, it was such an amazing experience, but I feel sad that the experience is not happening right now again. Do you know what I mean? You want to be back on there. But for me to be part of the history of Indiana Jones and to know that I'm part of its legacy and it's the final ever Indiana Jones film, I just feel so privileged and lucky.